Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today on Tallidus Plays, we continue our Build 42 Project Zomboid playthrough. Wake up on day 5 of our survival journey here. Kicking on the tube. Relax a little bit while we wait for our show. Oh, some Ivanov Golf Club commercial. Interesting. Pitch perfect. I love the pun. Getting a little bit of rain today. Hopefully it's not going to be too continuous because we have a lot more exploration to do. Learning about a BLT sandwich. Alright. And that's the end of cooking. Let's grab our breakfast here. Again, check on your weapons before you leave any safe house. Crowbar's still in decent condition, so we should be good for most of the day. Let's see. I'm gonna grab... Oh, that was a little spooky outside. Let's grab our... I think we'll grab... Do we have anything stale that we can start getting rid of? Looks like this is all fresh frozen in here. I know we have a couple other fridges with food in them nearby. We have the upper safe house a little bit to our north, and the other one directly southeast of us there. Let's just grab this ham for now. We'll let that thaw out, and we'll just eat half now, half later. And otherwise, let's throw that in the bag. These chips I'm actually going to leave here because they're non-perishable, so we'll save those. And we're keeping all the medical items in the bag, so that's good for now. Again, we're rolling a little heavy. 7 out of 12 kilograms of inventory is filled. It's a bit heavier than we like to go, but that's okay. Let's see. Our previous days of survival, we explored a little bit more of the immediate area. We went through most of these houses. We found some good items in this basement right here. We set off some alarms, and I believe this house and this house, so there's some Zeds kind of populating that vicinity. So for today, I think I'm actually going to go up 9th Street here. We're going to start checking out some of these larger houses along the way with these separated garages. So let's make our way over there. Again, as always, we are on the quest for the Generator Magazine combo. Need a generator to install and the knowledge with which to install said generator. Again, we have this tall fence here. On the other side of that fence is the detached garage houses. So those will be all along, I believe that's Main Street, yeah. So corner of 9th and Main, we'll start exploring these. I do recall that we have a nice van right about here on Main Street, but we had a house alarm go off over there. So that dissuaded us from continuing exploration for the short term in that area. Again, I sort of avoid house alarm areas for about a day or so if possible, just to kind of let the heat die down on the zombies in the area. Go straight through here. And again, we will definitely have some Zeds in the vicinity. Okay, is this open? Nah, usually they're locked. It's definitely a shock for my guy. I'm surprised they didn't play the jump scare sound for that, to be honest. Because that definitely triggered his panic avoidance. I feel like we're going to have a Zed kind of hopping out of this house at any moment. But yeah, these detached garages are a great spot to find generators and more tools and weapons. So we have a sheriff in here. We got a few people in here, so let's see if I can't... They're going to bash this door open pretty quick with 3 of them going out the door like that. So let's go over here, take care of this guy. We'll get ready to fight. My character is a little tense. Oh, agitated. Interesting. Is my bandage still dirty? I thought this was done. Oh, okay, good. Stressed out. Okay. I guess it's because of all these Zeds right here. Let's get away from that for a minute. I don't know why my character is getting so freaked out right now. Curious. Maybe he hasn't seen that kind of zombie action up close yet? It's hard to tell. Again, this is only day number 5 of our survival, so the whole concept of this zombie situation is still fairly new to him, so that might be what's going on. Let's grab this jacket, and I think that's all we need for now. So we're going to have to figure out a way to calm him down, I guess. Otherwise, he's going to be wigging out all day. Check the garage here. Yeah, see, we got some nice tools. Empty gas can. We'll grab that, actually, because we might grab some gas today for our Jeep. Our Jeep is still running pretty well, though. Also, electrical one is not a bad thing to pick up early in the game, because we can read that next time we have a little bit of downtime, and that'll help us when we start grinding up our electrical. Because if all else fails, we'll have to get our electrical to, I believe, level 3 in order to install the generators. So. Okay, done though. Stressed out. Okay, so. Could just be randomly stressed out. Let's see, is our ham thawed? Yes, so we eat half of the ham. Calm ourselves with a little bit of stress eating. Alright, and let's go inside the house here, see what we find. Hunter magazine. I actually think that's a skill book. Yeah, we can make traps with this magazine, so that's good. Jog upstairs real quick. I can always be ready when you go upstairs. You never know what you're going to find. This seems like I might have been through here, although I feel like I would have grabbed that Hunter magazine and I would have checked the garage. But generally, if all the doors are open, that means somebody's been through. Ooh. Westpoint police car key. We'll grab that. I don't know if the police car is going to be usable. Baseball bat. Oh, let's grab that for sure. Again, they're not amazing on their own right because they do have a tendency to break more than the metal objects, but I believe you can use nails and create a nailed bat, which does last a lot longer. And look at that. We found our automated emergency broadcast system, the AEBS 100.4. So we'll make a note of that on the map. We'll close the door and note that on our map here real quick. Going to do that, you can just add a note, and we'll just add it over here in this empty space. Automated Emergency Broadcast System, AEBS. Okay. That way we have that permanently written on our map. So we can turn to the proper channel on our radios. And again, the reason we want to find that and write it down is so that we can start listening out. The radio will warn you the day before the helicopter event occurs. Give you that little heads up saying air activity expected tomorrow. The air activity they refer to is helicopter. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this yogurt. The guy's still agitated, but he is calming down a little bit, which is good. I was getting a little paranoid there. We got a zombie somewhere out here, I think. I don't know if he's seen us, though. Let's go out the door here and check it out. I can hear somebody zedding out. Maybe he's in this house. Don't know. We got a basement in here. Oh, he's really close. He's probably in here. Yep. Is he wearing a helmet? What did he have on? No? Just a rag on his head? Okay. Nothing really going in there. We'll just close that so the smell isn't going all over the place. Again, we drink where we can. Because, again, our water has already gone out for some reason. This is uniquely tricky in this playthrough because usually you have at least a week or so until the water goes out. Honestly, in most of my experiences, the water lasts longer than the power. So the fact that the water is already out by day 5 is kind of wacky to me, but what are you gonna do? We'll be able to build rain collector barrels once we build a more permanent base. That is also one of my sub-objectives of this episode, is to at least scout for a good area for our permanent base, at least our permanent Westpoint base. Again, I like to have a few different safe houses in the game, usually one in each kind of relative town area. I'm actually going to carry some of that with us, the salmon. Grab the milk chocolate bar too. There's not a lot to loot in this house, so we'll just take what we can get. Again, we're filling up our bag pretty quick here. I'm going to check upstairs, downstairs, and then we'll hit the TV for our noon show. Creamsicle, let's eat that. Nuts, bolts, battery, duct tape, box of nails, always nice. Again, that might work well with our bat. Ooh, this is another one of those basements I referred to. The pipe wrench is going to be extremely useful. That is what will let us plumb the rain collector barrels down into our sink. So theoretically, that will let us have automatically purified water. And we're actually already full up on materials. You know what? I'll grab that claw hammer too. Well, no, we have one at base. We'll keep that. I'm going to indicate this on the map, because again, this is a nice basement, and we can come back for more supplies when we need them. So again, any of these up to the right pointing arrows are indicating a basement with useful items. You can mark them however you want. That's just the way I'm doing it. Okay, what do we have up here? Kids' room. There's a soccer fan, sweater vest. Oh, they're a knitter too. Enjoy doing some knitting. Novelty glasses, that's kind of funny. Hoodie. Love rhombus. Residence key. We're already inside everything, so we don't need to worry about that. We'll take the painkillers though, that might come in handy. Did we check this? Yes, okay. Hunks with a Z. Alright, let's go back out. And let's go downstairs for our show. And let's see here. Oh yeah, we have a claw hammer still on our belts. Forgot about that. Okay, can I play the piano? I don't think so. We can disassemble it, but that's it. I'll rest here for a minute. All of our windows and doors are closed, so we'll at least hear if a zombie bashes through. And let me see if I can't consolidate. I think I'm going to eat the rest of this ham, because we've been carrying it around all day. It's definitely warmed up. We don't want to eat that salmon raw, so we'll wait till we cook it up. We can also read our Hunter magazine. We'll fast forward here just a little bit. So that's done. Probably just drop this on the ground now. We still have a little extra weight on us. Can we consolidate any of this into the bag? No, not yet. Okay. I don't know if we need all those nails, but I'd like to grab them. I think what we can do is actually put the baseball bat on our back, since we're holding our crowbar. And that should... Still says overloaded. So let's put the bat... Well, you know, now we can put the nails in the backpack. See what this does. Slightly better. Okay. Let's fast forward here through the carpentry, and then honestly we might be heading back to base temporarily. And that's woodcraft. Okay. Turn that off. Let's head back to base here, since we're so close anyways. I must have heard the TV. They were probably hanging out right here against the fence. Likely behind a tree, that's why I couldn't see them earlier. They heard the TV, so they came knocking. Again, you got to be careful when you're in these even moderately wooded areas because there could always be just little pockets of 2 or 3 zombies that just kind of find their way out when they start to hear some noises. Again, don't sprint through trees. You're more likely to scratch yourself up, which is unnecessary injury. I'm actually going to go to I'm calling this our main base right here, the one with the sort of fenced-in backyard. Um, this will probably change because this has been pretty banged up. It's kind of been overrun several times already with zombies, so I don't really like this spot anymore. Once upon a time, I actually had a very long-term base here. I think I lived here for almost 2 or 3 months on a playthrough once. But for now, we are just using it as a temporary storage area where we're sort of gathering up all of our equipment before we go to a better base. Again, that front door is just hanging open. I should close that. Let's drop off some of these items. We're going to drop off the baseball bat just because it's heavy. And then let's drop off everything in here other than our food and medicine. So we'll do that. There we go. Offload all that. We're going to head up here and throw the food in the freezer. Oh yeah, I haven't been keeping food up. Well, there we go. A little bit of food in the freezer never hurt. And that's about as light as we're going to get here. We have the rest of the day. It's only 2 p.m. now. So let's head back to, you know what? Let's go back across the street up here. And I'm going to wipe out some zombies in the yard. We'll make way towards that van that we saw. You know, I might just leave them for now. They're not hurting anybody yet. Have we looked in here? I think we have. Yes. Yes, we have. Okay. Hop on the fence. Again, if I go directly upwards, or in this case northwest, we get to this next house, and we know for a fact that there is a nice van right there. In the back of that van is an extra sledgehammer. At this point, we have found 2 sledgehammers in our playthrough, which generally only need the one. It's crazy. I mean, it is quite damaging to zombies, but it's very slow as a weapon. And it's just too useful to use for utilitarian purposes, as in, wow. Got 2 decent pockets of Zeds here. I might actually ignore that for now. So what I'm going to do is actually go west down this road here. This is the main road right here. Or main street. Anyways, yeah, the sledgehammer is too useful with basically its ability to destroy any given piece of the environment. It can knock through any wall. It can knock through doors, most of the fences in the game, wood panels, drywall. You can get in the side of a house and the side of a building. So it's a great way of getting into those otherwise inaccessible areas, especially armories, which tend to be guarded by a pretty hard door. So keep that in mind. Peanut butter pucks, we'll grab that. Roy's peanut butter pucks, huh? Let's pop inside here. And I guess all the zombies in this neighborhood must have gone over to that house alarm. Okay, my guy's getting a little winded. We'll close this up for now. Pop the front doors so we have it unlocked. Let's check the basement first. Ooh, lots of paint. It's a painter house. Usually they tend to find all the paint stashed in one area. And is that more? Oh, it's a sewing kit. Not going to worry about that right now. Some more chips. Grab those. Chocolate bar, why not? Ooh, fresh yogurt, we'll eat that. And then we'll grab the sausage and the grapes. And what do we have in the freezer? Yes. Veggies and fish fingers. Breakfast of champions. Upstairs, check it out. clear. More alcohol wipes, caffeine pills. So those are nice if you're really dragging later in the day, but you need to kind of stay awake. Specifically on the day of the helicopter event, it's not a bad idea to have some caffeine pills on hand, because you might be on the lam for 14, 15 hours straight when the helicopter kind of follows you around Knox County. Again, many players will choose to just hole up inside somewhere and hope that the helicopter does not see them, and therefore does not reveal their location to the zombies. However, I tend to hop in my best fueled car and drive around all day. And I usually go out to the more rural areas of the map where the zombie density is quite low already. I just kind of spend my day doing a little exploration, driving around, hoping that I can avoid the worst of it. Hop in here. I'm just going to pop the door and go right back outside. And I really don't like fighting indoors if I can avoid it. Outside you have a lot more flexibility and a lot more places to run in the open. The only catch, of course, is that you might draw the attention of some other zombies in the area. I know there was a zombie walking by in the back there. I saw him when I came in. So we'll keep that in mind. But for now, I'm just going to start looting. We have some milk and another sausage. We'll grab all that. The backpack here. Another milk chocolate. It's the day of the chocolate bars, apparently. We're finding nothing but chocolate. Yeast, not a bad idea. Eventually we can use that to make bread. Pack of beer bottles. I don't know if this is actual beer or just beer bottles. Let's... yeah, it looks like... We'll leave that there. That's probably fairly heavy, I'm sure. Yeah, it's almost 2 kilos. We'll leave that for now. Tomato paste. And beer's not terrible for thirst. It can also calm you down a little bit if you're super stressed, but you want to keep your wits about you, generally speaking. Look at that. Here come some more party guests. They must have heard that we had beer. Alright. And Dunzo. What we got? Alright. Check the bathroom here. Again, don't forget to drink water as you go. When the power is out, I don't think I needed the tweezers, but that's fine. Sorry, when the water is out, not the power, but when the water is out, drink whenever you have the option. Okay. Trophy, bucket hat. Condolence letter. Uh-oh. Looks like somebody got some bad news before they got some really bad news. Grab these adhesive bandages. Okay, back downstairs we go. Sounds like we got some people out front. Check this house out here, and that should take us up to 6 p.m. Oh, burnt pancakes. No wonder they got thrown out. Is this garbage can? Let's grab this garbage bag. Again, we'll get rid of... you know what? Actually, we'll keep that olive oil. Tire pump we'll just throw on the ground. We're going to keep the olive oil, because that is non-perishable, and then we'll grab the bag itself as well. Resignation letter. Another garbage bag, a club hammer. That would be good, except it is very bad condition, so we're not going to bother grabbing that. These are all rotten, so we'll drop that. Antidepressants we'll keep, and let's grab the bag itself. Head on inside the house here. Again, kind of just double check every once in a while your immediate area, so you're not getting stacked up with zombies walking towards you. I hear somebody inside. Probably over here. Maybe out back. Interesting. Some briefs. What do we have? This package over here. Parcel. Good. Open up the parcel. It's a small carton of wine. Ooh. Kind of a boozy neighborhood. Alright. More adhesive bandages. They have a basement here. What we got here? Generic stuff. Generic stuff. Okay. Let's go ahead and switch this TV over. A little bit more time though, so let's just double check upstairs. I think I hear that zombie probably upstairs. I had to guess I'd say in that closet right there. Right over here, I'd say. Ooh, another crowbar. Good condition too. Excellent. Come on. Alright. Oh, come on. I hate it when that swing doesn't connect. Freaks me out. Sounds like we attracted another zombie outside, unfortunately. Luckily, we did not get bit. That was very close, though. I'm going to wear these fingerless gloves, so they are better than nothing. Ideally, we have gloves with fingers, but beggars can't be choosers right now. Let's give us a little bit more scratch defense on the hands. And let's head back downstairs after we grab a few more of these medical items. Ooh, here we go. Work boots. We're going to grab one pair of these. Throw those in our school backpack. We'll pop those on in a minute here. But that's definitely one of the things we've been looking for, is better boots, because we've been wearing standard shoes this whole time. I don't know where. One of these windows has a zombie. Just dying to get in. Sounds like they might be at the back door. Yeah, let's throw these boots on. Yeah, again, that's basically makes your feet much better. Look at that. We only had 10 and 20, now it's 100, 100 on our defensive stats. And we have a zombie making their way through the house here. Here they come. Just want to make sure I'm within earshot of the TV. How is that a jump scare? Alright. Let's pop squat here. Rest up. Get our stamina back a little bit. And fast forward. It's a foraging episode. Oh, very brief foraging episode, but we got some experience from it. Alright. Still a little out of breath. Let's head downstairs, see what they got. This looks like a very foreboding basement. Empty buckets, small handle, glass bottles, measuring tape, box of nails, a nail. Okay, so nothing too crazy here. All looks kind of above board. They have a little downstairs sink. Maybe they had like a... Oh, camera film, so they were a photographer. This must have been where they developed. Maybe this is their, what do they call it, a dark room? It's always creepy. Ooh, salts. You just need some salt with your food. Okay. We are not amateur photographers, though, so we will leave this basement as is. And move along to the next abode. What are we doing over here? Let's see. Again, I wanted to focus on more of the garages, but this seems to be a lower density area right now, so we'll just keep focusing on that. Ooh, this looks like a nice van. Check this little bad boy out. They're mixing the trash with the recycling. Why do we have aluminum in the garbage and not in the recycling? Come on, guys. We're not going to save the world doing this. Would you look at that fruit jam? That's perfectly good to eat. It's just the tortilla chips. Everything else we'll throw on the ground, and we'll grab this garbage bag. Peek at the van here. Actually, let's check the mail. Okay, nothing going there. No Zeds. See what we see. We're getting a little tired. Might want to start going back to base soon. Like, oh, not a bad condition, actually, on the van. No gas. The rear windshield's a bit jacked up, but otherwise, this is fairly functional. Again, I'm not sure if I want to take that Jeep on the road for the helicopter event, so I might be focused on finding a new one. Oh, we got somebody upstairs kind of hanging out. The only issue is this is kind of a large vehicle, so it might be a bit tricky to navigate around town. We don't have to hotwire it because we have the key right there. That's why you always check for the key. And I can also look in the trunk now that we've unlocked it. Just a screwdriver. Okay, nothing too fancy. Is that guy going to smash through the window and fall? We'll see. I guess that's up to him. Back door locked. Let's check the front door and then we'll just go through. Again, we are getting a bit tired, which makes us weak. The weaker you are, the worse you are at fighting zombies, which puts you in danger. So be careful. Lock the back door there. Some more food items. Throwing them in the bag. This actually works out pretty well because we're almost full up on inventory anyways. Ooh, a lot of kitchen utensils there. How heavy is the juice? We'll grab the juice. And I'm not going to worry about that. Some crackers, sure. Let's take a quick glance at the basement and the upstairs, and then we'll head back to base for the evening. Ooh, somebody was doing some trapping. Definitely a hunter basement. Let's eat this ice cream. Again, we could take down a whole pint of ice cream. Part of our survivor skills. Value Tech radio. We've already got one in storage. Also, we have one at our sleeping base. Although, that's not a bad little haul of tools. We got a bunch of paint. Wow, look at all that. A hand scythe, pretty solid weapon. We got another pipe wrench. Hacksaw. Lots of paint for customization. I believe these traps as well. I don't know if you can... Yeah, I think you can actually pick them up and move them around. So we are going to definitely put an indicator on this particular house for our future usage. So that is definitely another useful basement to have. Also, the chest fridge is or chest freezer is never a bad thing to find. I don't know if you can relocate that particular variation. I know the ones that say ice on the top, the ice freezers, they can be sort of disassembled and relocated to your base, which is nice. We have a dice pouch here for role-playing games. Again, I tend to find crowbars in this particular type of closet for some reason. It's this upstairs, utility closets. I don't know why. They just... Very good spot for finding crowbars. I'm a bit biased because we found one just earlier in this episode, so that might be... Ooh, look at all these skill books. Nothing I'm going to worry about right now, but we've already marked the house, so we know to come back here if we need to. And I think that's going to do it. We'll just grab these and put them on our normal inventory. And yes, at this juncture it is, what, 9 p.m. We are getting a little tired, so it would be a good idea to head back to base. Drop off our new supplies. And it looks like zombie did bash that window. I don't know if he jumped out, though. Generally, they don't jump out unless they have something that they're actually hunting down. So... Let's see here. Making our way back to the base. Again, I'm avoiding all these residences right here because we know that there's a big patch of zombies floating around. So I'm probably going to take the scenic route here. We'll go around the backyard of this house back to our main base area. I might honestly just head straight back to what I consider the sleeping base. Did I have... No, oh yeah, the mechanics 1 was in here. Okay, well, we'll close that door. Again, a lot of dead Zeds over here, so I try to avoid being there overnight, because we do not like the smell. Check our temperature here, body response. Body heat generation's a little high, honestly, on the chest and head. This is likely due to our insulation being higher as well, because of what we're wearing. Hopefully we cool back off a little with the rain. Temperature's not too bad. It's a little under 70 degrees, so again, I'm a southern boy. To me, that is very pleasant temperature. And here we go. Oops. Flapping this door. All right. Let's fridge up our fridgeables in the freezer. First, cow's milk, fish fingers. What else we got? Canned corned beef. Put that in. A lot of non-perishables today, which is a nice haul. Let's see. Honestly, all of this can just go in the bottom for now. Again, there is more sorting to be done, but for now we are kind of just throwing everything in one container because there's a good chance we're going to pack it all up into a trailer or a van and move to a better base for long-term survival. Also, I only need 1 pair of tweezers on hand. We'll stash that. Caffeine pills, we don't really need to always have honest, and honestly, we don't need all these bandages. Let's just keep 3. Worst case scenario, I take 3 wounds at the same time if I'm not already dead. And frankly, these are a little heavy, actually, the alcohol wipes. So why don't we keep the heavier ones, and we'll get rid of all these. Yeah, so we'll keep a couple of those, ditch the garbage bags, ditch the antidepressants, and yep, wipes, bandages, tweezers. Looks good. More wipes there, we'll throw in, and I think that's all for now. Inventory back down. Again, our kind of operational weight is 7 kilograms total, with a little less than 1 in the backpack. So at this point, I think I can drink from the sink. Fill my water bottle back up again. I am not washing all my stuff right now because sadly the water is out. So whatever's left in the sink, we have 15.8 liters and then it's done. So I'm keeping that in mind. Let's tune this radio to our new channel. So again, we do know we can turn it on and add a preset. Well, let's turn that volume way down. We know that 100.4 is our preset found today. Some automated emergency broadcast system, AEBS. We'll save, tune it in, and at the top of the hour we should get our information on the next day's weather, and whether or not there will be a helicopter event. We shouldn't really have one yet because we are on day 5. Tomorrow will be day 6 of survival. So far we've survived for 4 days and 17 hours. Killed 129 zombies, and our favorite weapon, of course, is the crowbar. Weight is dropping at a decent clip here. We're losing about half a kilo a day on average. So again, that's part of why I picked the perks that I did. Here we go. Let's listen to the radio here real quick and get our information. Yes, we got our temperature info. Some wind, some clouds. Period of weather, light to moderate rain. Tomorrow, about the same. A little warmer, actually. Clear skies, Cloudy spells. Light to moderate rain. Expected to end in the morning. Okay. Temporary communications failure for the Northeast Exclusion Zone. Interesting. I think that's pretty much it, though. So, again, I don't believe that implies any helicopter events, at least for the next day. We can turn that off, and we can call it a night. Rest up for the next day of survival here. I do have a pillow, yes. So we'll zip through the night here. I forgot to turn on my alarm. I wonder if I could do that while I'm asleep, actually. That would be kind of interesting. What do you know? You can. Okay. Not exactly realistic. I guess you could say I woke up in the middle of the night, frantically turned on my alarm, and just went right back to sleep. That's good to know, though, that you can kick on that alarm during the nighttime. Because, again, we want to be awake for our 6 a.m. show. Cooking show. Again, the better you are at cooking, the more skills you've got. And also, the less likely you are to make a mistake. Your cooking will result in better food, you'll have more recipes, and of course you're not going to give yourself any sort of food poisoning if you're more skilled. So we'll just rest here for a minute and watch the cook show real quick. Ooh, cherry pie episode. Fantastic. That was a quick one. Alright, so we'll turn this off now. And after grabbing a little bit of breakfast for the road, we'll be ready to rock and roll. Let's see what do we have here. I think we'll grab a cupcake. We'll grab a jelly donut. Yeah, cupcake and 2 jelly donuts ought to be good for now. As these thaw, we'll eat them. We don't want to eat them while they're frozen because that's just kind of gross. And let's strike back out onto the streets of Westpoint. Checking our map, we know we went through a good amount of these houses the previous day. We still have these other, like, 5, I believe, to look through. This, I believe, is the school, which wouldn't be a bad idea to check out. We would have to pass by... We know there's, like, 2 big pockets of zombies here, though, so maybe I could go up 9th Street and check out the school today. I'm tempted to bring the vehicle to the school because there's going to be a lot of loot there. However, it might behoove us just to walk on foot. That way we don't attract as many zombies because, again, we have to be a little stealthy around the school. There tends to be a pretty big pocket of zombies in the area. As it seems we got a little bit of migration zombies here over the last couple days. Yeah, they must have migrated down from the other house alarm. So we'll take care of these. Is that a 3-fer? Nice. 3 for Sutherland. You know, I broke my own rule. I didn't check on our condition of our crowbar before we left. Still not too shabby. We're looking at about 2/3 total condition. Again, that's part of the reason I love the crowbar is because it lasts for a good while. Breakfast is still thawing, our cupcakes and jelly donuts. Breakfast of champions. So let's head up 9th Street here and keep wiping out some Zeds as we go. Again, if I jumped in the car, we would have been dragging these guys kind of all over town, so I'd rather get rid of them sooner than later. I don't like that all these guys are following me, but what are you going to do? Whoops. Push them back. Item 1 at a time. And I want to kill all these guys on the road. So we'll do a little bit of a mini circle there. Not too shabby. We're a little out of breath. All the negative stats are stacking up. But we're getting close to being able to enjoy our delicious breakfast pastries. That'll put us in a better mood. We'll naturally cool off. Again, at 60 degrees, we're still unpleasantly hot. I don't like that. But that will happen once you're fighting zombies. You're Body response gets very high in some of these areas. Again, that's from our cowboy hat and our jacket. Again, if you check our main inventory, you see here we're wearing that cowboy hat, and we do have on a t-shirt and a tank top, as well as the police jacket. Scratch defense. I think what we might do is actually take off the t-shirt, because that's not really doing us any favors. Hopefully that'll help us cool off a bit. The tank top on is sort of an undershirt. Is there anything in that satchel? Nah, just a book. Okay. What is that? A street smart guy in a leather jacket with a satchel with a book in it? Alright. Yes, the temperature looks a little bit more stabilized. It's gonna take me half the day just to get out of my neighborhood here. Alright. Fancy reflective sunglasses. How's our food looking? Fresh. Excellent. Let's eat a cupcake. And again, this is helping our unhappiness because this is fresh, delicious treats. We'll have a cupcake, and we're going to go ahead and have one of these jelly donuts as well. Again, not very nutritional, but it is filling. Let's crouch here, and we'll inspect our immediate area because we have a little pocket of Zeds up here. If I recall, we kicked off an alarm over here. Or no, that was actually a little bit further east. Yeah, the alarm I kicked off, I think, was over here, past 8th Street. So let's keep going up 9th. We'll try to avoid all these guys for now. So we'll do a little bit of sneak. Avoid these folks. Again, we do want to get in all these sweet, sweet garage areas. But the thing I'm interested in most for the school is the library. Skill books galore. And most importantly, that means we might find our ever-elusive generator magazine. A nice-looking little car there. We'll have to keep an eye out to see if we can come back around for that at some point. Maybe hotwire it up. That could be our helicopter event vehicle. Small, a little bit more nimble. You don't want a big tank that you're driving around during the helicopter event because you want to be able to kind of weave in and out. You'll be exploring new areas with new packs of Zeds as well as a bunch of cars. And again, usually I end up on the highway at some point, and there are oftentimes traffic jams full of burned out vehicles, so keep that in mind. You don't want to get stuck behind a bunch of cars. And like I said, we've got a bunch of zombies floating around the school. Let's head over here to the yard. We might pick up one or two as we go, but I'm going to keep sneaking for now and try to get it to a slightly more advantageous area. I don't like what's going on here. I'm going to head back over across the street. Because, yeah, now we got a little mini horde, like 7 coming at us. Some up behind the house. So we're going to have to fight on the street here. Kind of intentionally pushing them away occasionally here. Spacebar. Get them stumbled off center. We can control the flow as we fight. Do not want to take on more than 1 or 2 with this crowbar at a time. Oops. And my character is already getting fairly exhausted. That looks like a duffel bag. I gotta double check. I think the duffel bag is better than my school backpack that I'm currently using. So if I am able to wipe out these zombies, I will definitely switch to that. Here, however, we are getting pushed into a bit of an unfortunate situation where we're going back towards another horde. So I'm going to do a little quick U-turn. Character is letting me know that he's getting quite exhausted here. So we're not going to be able to fight much more short term. Let's do a little check around, make sure we don't have any newbies joining us. Again, I cannot run anymore. We are excessively exerted, so at this point we're going to have to just walk away from this particular horde. Oh, Hopefully I can lose them and break line of sight, because my guy is exhausted, feeling minor pain because of all the muscle strain. So let's be very careful here. Again, we have these zombies have walked up near that sedan that I talked about earlier. We know we have some Zeds over here behind these trees. So I'm going to try to split the difference. We're in a very sticky situation. At this point, all I can do is keep walking towards our Jeep and hope that I can get inside the Jeep, because these guys are going to follow me indefinitely. I will try to lose their line of sight behind these trees. And unfortunately, I cannot sprint because of my exhaustion right now. So we're going to have to get lucky here. Hopefully I can lose line of sight a little bit. Again, we know that this should be fairly clear of zombies because I cleared it earlier the other day. So we'll lose a few, hopefully, behind these trees. I can possibly go to sneak mode. Okay, we still have a whole bunch following, so nope. Again, we'll kind of zig through these trees and zag our way out. Again, we're trying to thin the horde out as we go through, hoping that they kind of lose sight of me. The faster ones will be right behind me still. Okay, I'm going to cut through again. We're going to go down, cut through these trees, try to break line of sight yet again. Each time you break line of sight, you're more likely to lose some in the pack that is following you. Don't want these guys to see me, though, so we're going to cut directly left. Hopefully they don't come following. And unfortunately, we're getting very exhausted, so we are eventually going to become slower than the zombies. Luckily, we're down to what seems to be 4. So hopefully I can hop into the Jeep and kind of just drive away for now. And then eventually, let me try to break line of sight one more time through these trees. Again, you don't want to be caught up on the trees. If you keep hitting them directly, you'll slow yourself down to the point where you're doing yourself more harm than good. So go between the wider gaps of the trees. We'll hop inside, start up the car. And we'll get away here. Again, I don't want to hit all these guys with my car, because we'll do damage to it that doesn't need to happen. So I'm basically going to just kind of leisurely drive. Again, we're keeping our speed and our RPMs low, so we're not making tons of noise. I guess I just hit a critter. Just did a ton of blood on my hood. But yeah, at this point, I think I could probably just pull off here into this field. Let's turn the engine off so we're not making any noise. Again, you can hold right click and kind of look all around you in the car, even while you're driving. Looks like we have at least one zombie kind of following us. There's 2, so yeah, we are going to have to drive a little bit further out of the way here. Oh! Is that the helicopter? Okay, yeah. Good thing we're in the car. I didn't think we would have this happen today, but we are having the helicopter event right now. On the 14th, so this is, what, day 6 of survival? Alright, helicopter event time. Let's start dealing with it here, folks. So again, we've been preparing for this. I wish I had more fuel, but this should be enough for now. We're going to kind of snake through these backyards temporarily. Again, I don't want to do too much damage to the Jeep as we go. But this helicopter will follow us because they've definitely seen us at this point. And it will draw every zombie in the vicinity towards us. So what do we do when the helicopter comes? We explore. Remember the party gang over here? They're matching outfits. We'll check the map real quick. Okay, so we're gonna go, we're gonna hang a left when we dead end, and then immediately right, and we'll go all the way down. I do know that this is a mechanic area, and these are storage facilities. But yes, you can already see there, these are all the zombies kind of coming out of the woodwork to follow me, because they hear that helicopter. So if we keep a decent clip on our movement, we shouldn't be too affected, because it'll kind of naturally make them flow out towards the streets, which is even better for the future of our playthrough, because it'll be easier to fight in the streets than inside of the buildings. Also, while I'm doing this, I am keeping an eye out for that ever important Hazmat Zombie. Because we are on a mod right now. We're playing the They New mod. See all these zombies pouring out of the gas station there. All the zombies coming out of the downtown areas. And look at that. I don't know if I can snake through there. Let's go northbound here. We'll just kind of leisurely go around a bit. Zombies pouring out of the Drake. A local bar. They're all on the mood. We have car fixation. We have the pharmacy. There's a hazmat zombie right there. Look. We found him. I might break my own rule and just knock him out here. Okay. Just that one. I think we killed him. So we can come back around later on and find him and loot him. But for now, these zombies are all migrating pretty aggressively to the east. The helicopter might have done a circle. Maybe it's heading over this way near Timmy's. I believe it's Timmy's. It's another kind of a local bar. Actually, I think it's Twiggy's. Let's see. Yeah, Twiggy's. They got their little backyard bandstand there. So yeah, you can hear the helicopter getting a little bit more distant now. I believe it's doing a loop around. But we are stirring up every zombie in the Westpoint area. What do we have here? Stendo's Firearm Emporium. I believe this might be a reference to a legendary contributor of the game. So shout out Stendo. But we don't have time to linger just yet. We gotta make haste. And we'll eat a jelly donut while we briefly wait here. Again, we're getting a little drowsy. I wish I had some of those caffeine pills on me that I picked up the other day. Would have been nice. Sounds like I hear some chatter on our radio. Wonder if that's just part of the helicopter event now, where you hear that chatter. Okay, I think we're back on the main road here. Sorry, Main Street. I should call it what it is. Yes. And now we can kind of go down around the... I believe this is a car mechanic over here. So unfortunately, we might have to circle back by the firearms store and Twiggy's and try to draw some of those Zeds away, because we do want to loot those locations eventually, and if they're packed with zombies, we're going to have a bad time. But on the same note, I don't want to draw a bunch of zombies here, because this is one of the best areas. Yeah, American Tire. It's one of the best areas in Westpoint. Usually there's some cars. Fortunately, there's nothing here. But yeah, very good area to loot. So we'll make tracks and avoid being here when the helicopter comes circling around again, because I don't think it's quite done with us yet today. So what we can do... Yeah, see, all these zombies are still following us from Twiggy's and the firearm area. They're kind of milling about, so let's do a little U-turn here. Seems like they're all still flowing in that general direction. This is a construction site, if I'm not mistaken. Working on a building. And here we have the storage units, which, if there was ever a place to find a generator, this would be it. This is a fantastic area to loot. Again, I'm not staying anywhere right now on account of the chopper. We don't hear it because it's not hovering directly over us, but usually if they find you, they will find you again later in the day and make another pass. Usually the event lasts anywhere from 6 to 12 hours, sometimes even longer. Let's see though, if I can pull up, get maybe some cheeky refuel, that would be nice. Can I get a little cheeky refuel here? How many Zeds do we have? Let's do a little honk, get their attention, and pull them away from the gas station. Again, if we just pull them out here on the grassy area, get them far enough away where they're sort of out of earshot, and then we'll drive off into the distance, but this will help us eventually come back around. We can definitely use that gas station right there. Pretty solid location too, being right next to the highway. Also, it's not as centered, so there's a smaller gas station in town, but obviously that tends to be surrounded by zombies. This one is kind of nice because it's next to a highway, but otherwise it's not near a bunch of zombie populations. So again, we'll do, I'm not going to honk anymore, we're just kind of dragging these zombies a little bit further down the road. And then, once we get them around this substation here, you know, can I actually hop out real quick and open this door? Ah, it's locked. Okay, we're not going to bother with that. Left the engine running just for this reason. And, yeah, that looks good to me. We'll just leave them there. Again, I know that this does circle us back to where our base area is. We have another exit that gets off the highway right here and goes back through 7th, which leads to our main sort of base area in Westpoint. You know, one thing I might do is use this to our advantage, actually. We could loop around and check out the school while we're driving a vehicle. Although, I am very tired. I'm wondering if my character would wake up automatically if he heard the helicopter. I don't know. So you have the option. You can sleep in your car. You can literally just, you know, pop that seat back and sleep in your car like you got tonight at a hotel. However, it does have negative effects. I believe your neck is kind of cramped the entire next day, so you're a little less effective in combat. And obviously, you run the risk of a zombie smashing open your window and having a snack. You become the midnight snack in that instance, which is never fun. Look at these. You can still see all these guys on the move. They're all stirred up. Like a beehive. Yeah, look at that. Beyonce's fan base. The beehive. Okay, we're going to keep driving down here. I don't think we're on Main Street, though. Are we next to Main Street? No, we are. Okay, so I'll pop a right here. Once it dead ends, we'll go left on Oak. Again, we almost got that duffel bag, but I would rather survive than get a duffel bag. We are tired, but I can't really feel comfortable sleeping anywhere. Also, it's only like 3 p.m. It's pretty early in the day. So we'll have to go to bed, I guess, a little earlier this evening after the helicopter event to recoup some of our stamina for the next day of survival. Lots more Zeds down there. My goodness. I mean, what's crazy is this has nothing on Louisville. Louisville is way more crowded than this. Ooh, a nice fire truck there. Might loop around and get that at some point. We have our fresh fruit stall, but unfortunately those are all probably rotten by this point in the game. This is the school. So we're just kind of taking a little bit of a observation here of the local vicinity, looking for an in route. It looks like this west side actually might be the way to get into the school. We could hop the fence, cross the lawn, and get in on the west side fairly easy. We have one horde there, but otherwise that does seem doable. So we'll keep that in mind. Let's check our map for a moment. And we're over here on the west side of town, right next to the neighborhood we were checking out. I might actually go U-turn back up to Oak Street. We'll head down this way because there's some more houses to check out. And I figure since we're driving around all day, we might as well do some more exploration. Frankly, I might actually do a little bit of a honk to draw this horde over so that they're not right next to the school. Yep, that worked. They're all coming towards. And again, any zombies in these houses are going to hear that as well. So we'll pull these guys up kind of towards the northwest corner of the schoolyard. Do one more honk at this intersection. And that's good for now. Anything else, and we'll be regretting it, I'm sure. We might regret that too, who knows? The game is still fairly young. Again, look at how loud those honks are. We got zombies kind of coming from all over. Well, that guy's still focused on the door. Alright, let's go around, and we're going to go down the street here on the west side. Yes, we are looking for more garages and more interesting buildings. This looks like a church. God knocks, answer the door. Get it? Knox, Knox, Knox County. Get it? All right. There's a little blue house here. Oops. Wiped out a mailbox. That's not what I was trying to do. And a big old group of zombies. In fact, one of them... Oh, no. That was a hazmat. Just wearing a black jacket. So we will avoid those guys altogether. We can come down here, and unfortunately I don't have any more food, but I'm getting a little bit more peckish. So we might stop here for a quick snack. I'll leave the engine running, though, because this is going to be an in and out trip. We know we have at least 20 zombies heading our way. So we're going to see if we can hop in here real fast and grab a snack. Ground beef, nope, not edible. Pizza, fresh, uncooked, frozen, not edible. We do have a milk chocolate bar, so we'll eat that. Eat the whole dang thing while we browse the rest of this area. I hear a zombie somewhere. But otherwise, looks good. Let's get out of here. Again, we are now very tired. Can barely think straight, weak with tiredness. Unfortunately, we do have a zombie, yep, coming out of the woods here. So we're going to keep driving. Now we have an awkward choice to make. Do we find a remote area to kind of post up in for the night? And hopefully have a safe night's sleep so that we can reset for the next day. But we also run the risk of having the remaining helicopter event occur. There's a chance, and while we got a little unlucky that the helicopter happened so soon, maybe it only happened for a few hours, and it could already be gone. That's another possibility. Things to keep in mind. Again, I don't really want to go anywhere with a... Because, again, we have almost no strength right now to deal with Zeds. Again, we're going to cross through in front of the school here. Got a big pocket right there in that intersection, which I do not like. Back through the park area here. We know we had the pack that was chasing us on the previous day, so we don't want to draw them all the way back to the house. So we're going to actually reverse this, go down the side streets. Again, this whole day is kind of a lesson in picking your battles. Of which we are picking very few, you might notice. Because we do not have the strength. Again, that looks like a hazmat zombie right there, actually. So we'll keep that in mind. For now, I don't want to draw all these zombies to us. Let's reverse. You know what? He can eat it. Okay. Yeah. So we'll come back around for him at some point. But otherwise, I'm going to try to dodge out these zombies. This should be a way to connect back to our main housing area. And again, we know that we've cleared a lot of this area by hand. So if I can be careful here, I'm keeping my RPMs extremely low. I'm basically just tapping W to sort of feather the throttle to make this thing move around. I might even break some of my own rules and roll through this grass to get over here. And then, frankly, we might post up in a different building today. Depends on how many zombies are over here. I think this might be our best opportunity. We're going to cut the engine, get out and go right to sneak mode, and we're going to do a long check. You can't really look very far into the distance when you're in the car. So I know that there's a pack of zombies right on the other side of the house. So I think we are actually going to go back to this house right here. And it should have a usable bedroom. See if there's a bedroom maybe without a shattered window. Fortunately, there's no TV. That's a bit of a bummer. Close that. Close the blinds at least. see. I just don't really think we can afford to get anywhere else without risking significant damage, because we are still very tired. Sleep comfort is good. You know what we can do is grab a pillow from the master bedroom, and we can use this bunk bed that the kids' room is in, because the windows have not been shattered in this room, so we have a little bit more leeway when it comes to impending zombie attacks. Again, I don't like sleeping in a room without a window. So let's grab our pillow. Make sure all of your doors are closed. Let's see if we have any snacks in here. Okay, nothing, but we will drink. Fill up our water. And let's see here. Yep, don't really have much. Didn't do a lot of looting today. We just kind of survived. That's the name of the game. Again, let's click on the light here so I can see what I'm doing. And we will place said pillow on the bed. It'll let us. I guess we just put it like right there. And then, yes, so now our sleeping comfort is good with pillow. That's as good as the master bedroom. Kill the light. We'll call it a night. So again, we have survived our helicopter event. We will sleep to the next morning, and we'll do a little bit of status report. I'm going to turn on our alarm, but I don't think we'll need it. We should wake up on our own. But we are very, very tired, so hopefully we get a nice long sleep through the night, and we wake up with plenty of time to make our way towards a television set for the morning show. Ooh, 4:30. Okay, so pretty solid sleep there. And again, you know what? I do remember there being some pie over here. It's rotten. The cake has gone rotten. Someone left a cake out in the rain. And I can't see where I'm going. Barely under these streetlights. So let's carefully make our way back towards base. You know, I think I might actually leave the Jeep here and just walk on foot to our base for today, so we don't run the risk of attracting too many more zombies to our area. However, that is a helicopter event survived. And if you made it this far in the video, please feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on our Project Zomboid Build 42 They Knew adventure. In this episode, you noticed that we survived the helicopter event. We have found a couple of the Hazmat Suit Zombies, and they have been dispatched. However, we will have to go back around to actually loot those zombies, and hopefully they will have on them the cure that we are so desperately looking for. I'm going to head back to base here, watch our morning show, but otherwise, I'm going to call it for the episode. And until next time, this has been Tallidus Plays.